What's up, guys? Blade Master here, bringing you another Total War Attila online battle. This match was sent to me by Piro, one of the members of the Wolf Clan, and in this matchup, he is playing against a fellow member of the Wolf Clan, Silverwind, one of the newer members of the clan. And in this matchup, Piro has taken the Visigoths, and Silverwind has taken the Danes. So, pretty interesting faction. He said that this match was supposed to be incredibly close and a really fun match to watch. So, I'm going to go ahead and cast it. I haven't seen this match before, so let's see how it goes. Piro has brought a total of 4 Germanic archers, 3 Gothic pikes, Gothic levy, and 4 Gothic Palatina defectors, 1 Germanic nobles, and a total of 6 Germanic horsemen with a couple of Germanic lancers. Now, out of 10, this build would probably get something like an 8, because the Germanic Lancers are not the perfect choice to bring, although they are a decent unit with a good amount of health, and they are medium. But still, for the Germanic factions, they just don't have good shock cavalry, and you don't need to bring them. Instead of them, he could have brought the noble Germanic horsemen, which would be invaluable in a cavalry-on-cavalry engagement against a Nordic faction like the Danes, because Nordic factions like the Danes have almost always bring Nordic horse lords, like Silverwind has brought here. On the other hand, Silverwind has brought a total of 6 Nordic horse lords, I would say, with single gold Nordic horse lords, a total of 5 Nordic band, a couple or 4 herdmen, 4 Nordic warriors, a couple of Nordic axe warriors, 2 Nordic bows, and a Nordic raid leader general. So before I go ahead and pass judgment on Silverwind's build, the Germanic horsemen are single silver, which is, I think, a very nice middle ground instead of the triple gold that Germanic horsemen have. They are very good at triple gold, but with silver you leave yourself with enough funds to strengthen the other parts of your army. So for Silverwind's build, I would again give it something like an 8, because Nordic horse lords are very good, and upgrading them up to gold chevron is very nice. 5 Nordic band is sort of excessive. Bringing a Nordic raid leader is a big no-no in my books. Nordic raid leaders, especially against a Germanic faction who will almost always bring Germanic archers, are just a massive target for your opponent to just fire on, because they don't have shields, and then Nordic raid leaders will die. That will lead to a gen snipe and then a huge morale debuff for your entire army, basically before the game really, or the battle really begins. Besides that, the Nordic warriors are decent. I don't know if the Danes have herdmen. I haven't played with the Danes more than a couple of times. Why bring the Danes instead of the Jutes, So that's my reasoning. That's why I don't really pick the Danes. But I think they have them. But in any case, Nordic warriors are very decent units themselves. Pretty aggressive units with good melee attack. Of course, access to scare. Not that that's going to matter, because the Nordic horse lords themselves have scare. In the cavalry-on-cavalry engagement, I would think the Nordic horse lords would win it, because the Germanic lances, if the Germanic lances are used in the cavalry battle, that's a massive waste. They should be instead used to hit the Nordic axe warriors. You might think that it's a good idea to bring Germanic lancers against the Jutes or the Danes or whatever the Nordic factions, but the Germanic horsemen can do just as good a job against double-handed axes, who are basically the main focus for Germanic lances. Here, Germanic horsemen are going to charge into Nordic horse lords, and I think Piro is going to be able to successfully know his Germanic horsemen getting caught there. Here, just got a charge in the nick of time, but one of his Germanic horsemen got caught by the Nordic horse lords, but they will be able to tank out that battle. What's important is he's managed to save his Germanic Lancer on his right flank, but the left flank is going to be forced into an engagement against the Nordic Horse Lords, which is of course terrible for Piro, because the Nordic Horse Lords would eat them up in a couple of seconds. Germanic archers not being used to their full potential, they are in range of the Nordic raid leader. So what Piro is doing the right thing now. He's moving up with his pikes to engage the Nordic band, and all the while he should just be focusing on the Nordic raid leader, but he's not doing that. He's instead moving his archers around, and he should be using his Gothic Palatina to start supporting the battle, because his Germanic horsemen, I don't think, will win out against a single gold Nordic raid leader, Nordic horse lord. And then he should also charge in with the Germanic lances, but they're getting caught by their own pikes, and therefore their speed and their charge is really being reduced. It looks like the Nordic axe warriors are going to get a pretty nice charge in. he should move his swords behind. Pyrrho should move his swords behind and let the Nordic Axe Warriors charge into the pike line because they will die very quickly to pikes. So Silverwind is going to pull back. He is taking some casualties from the Germanic archers. I think Pyrrho is instead focusing on the Nordic Axe Warriors. Again, if you're going to focus on a double-handed axe, why not just focus on the Nordic Raid Leader and induce a morale buff, morale debuff. Here the Germanic Lance is actually doing a pretty decent job against the Nordic Horse Lords. They're down to 50 men. The Germanic Lances are down to 42. Germanic Horsemen will eventually die here because the Nordic Band are supporting along with the Nordic Horse Lords. Here, the Nordic Horse are going to take a ton of damage from Germanic Archer fire. Still, this Germanic Lancer is kept in reserve. He shouldn't be using them against this Nordic Horse Lords. He shouldn't be using them at all. And they've actually been caught by their own units, and the Gothic Palatinate defectors are going to take a ton of damage there. Here, the Nordic Axe Warriors are actually dying pretty quickly to these Gothic Palatina. I wonder if they got charged at by them. I'm not really sure, but the Gothic Levy here doing a decent job, killing off a lot of these Nordic Axe Warriors while they're trying to pull through. And here the Germanic Horsemen, one of them has pulled back, the Nordic Band has routed, and it doesn't look like Pyrrho's going to be able to. Yeah, Pyrrho just got a rear charge from Nordic Horse Lords. The Germanic Lancers over there getting starting to rout. This Germanic Lancer as well, basically being not put to good use, and they're not a good unit anyways. The Nordic Horse Lords killing off one of the Gothic Palatina. Germanic Nobles General coming into support, so that means the Nordic Horse Lords is going to die. I wonder if I don't know what what general does he have. He has the Brace General. Oh no, he has the Fast Charge General. The Nordic Raid Leader is the Warcry General. Could be a very strong general choice just in terms of the ability, because a Warcry coupled with the Scare Tactic and Flaming Shots from the Nordic Bows could almost insta-rout any unit. The Germanic Horsemen all across the board are starting to waver. Nordic Horse Lords over here with 45 units could be a big player in the end game, but they need to be used effectively. They need to charge into those Germanic Horsemen. Here, the Gothic Palatina getting charged at by Nordic Horse Lords. The Nordic Axe Warriors defeating the very depleted Germanic Lancers. Here, Germanic Horsemen charging into the rear of Nordic Warriors. And let's see how well the Nordic Raid Leader does here. They will get a lot of kills against Gothic Palatina. Of course they will, because despite their absolutely terrible melee attack, they have good health actually. That's good, but they don't have any good armor. But my point was they have the double-handed axe, which gives them a 20 bonus versus infantry, which means they will do very well against Gothic Palatina. But at the end of the day, when you have access to a Nordic Raid Leader, you have access to other much stronger, more cost-effective double-handed axes. So why bring the general why bring an unnecessarily risky general? That said, Pyrrho needs to be firing into them. I'm not really sure. He's firing into the Nordic Horses, which itself is a good target. But these two Germanic archers are basically done. He should basically sacrifice them and then use the Germanic Horsemen to charge into them. Here, the Nordic Horse Lord has not taken a single casualty, still at 45 men, killed off the Germanic Horsemen, is going to charge into these Germanic archers. And here, Pyrrho is pulling back from the Nordic Raid Leader. The ideal situation for him would be for the Nordic Raid Leader to charge into those pikes. I think he's turned them around. Yeah, he's turning them around now. Meanwhile, Germanic Archers killing off the Nordic Horse Lords, but going to get rear charged by another Nordic Horse Lord. And all across the board, looks like the Nordic army is going to win here, but it's really, it could have, Pyrrho could have won. One, if he didn't bring those Gothic Lancers, and two, if he managed to bring those, if he managed to kill off the Nordic Raid Leader early on. The Nordic Raid Leader still at 87 units. The Nordic Horse Lords started to kill off the Germanic Archers. They are basically wavering all across the board. Doesn't look like Pyrrho is going to be able to win this. Nordic Warrior is doing a decent enough job here. 39 and 65 kills. And that says that the general has died, and it is a win for Silverwind. Very, very well played to both players. I think Pyrrho could have won this if he just didn't bring those Germanic Lances, and on top of that, he invested a lot more money into them with the double silver. Nordic Horse Lords did pretty decently for Silverwind, and the Germanic Archers could have been used to a much greater, to much greater effect. He focused kind of on the wrong units. The Nordic Horse Lords were always going to be a threat, and it's always good to start firing into them with your Germanic Archers. But if you have the option of firing into a Nordic Raid Leader general and just killing off the general for the army right across the bat, right at the start of the game, you should always go for that option. The Nordic band did a pretty decent job. I think these 14 kills were on Germanic Horsemen. And the Nordic Warriors did a pretty decent job as well. The Nordic Axe Warriors, one of them didn't do well. Again, very well played by Pyrrho using his Gothic Levy here with 101 kills. I think they killed a lot of those Nordic Axe Warriors. And the other Gothic Levy as well, getting 51 and 69 kills. These are like unheard of kill numbers for such a cheap pike unit. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more. Peace.